Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that takes your sources, articles, research notes, and really digs into them.
Exactly. We pull out the key insights, the important bits, giving you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed.
We focus on peer-reviewed, science-backed stuff, breaking down complex studies so you get the facts without, wading through all the jargon.
Our goal is always clarity, giving you the real picture based on the evidence.
And today, we're diving into some really fascinating science. It shines a light on how our bodies adapt to some pretty cutting-edge fitness tech.
Yeah, the kind of technology you might find in products from brands like Orium's Fit, for instance.
Right, they're an award-winning Australian company really making this sort of innovation, well, accessible. We'll touch on them a bit more later.
But first, let's unpack this research because it's got a real hook.
Absolutely. What if we told you that your very first session using electrical muscle stimulation, or EMS, could make a key muscle damage marker jump? Get this, up to 50 times its normal level.
Sounds pretty shocking, right?
Intense.
Definitely.
It really does. But here's the twist, the fascinating part. Your body might actually adapt to that shock incredibly quickly.
That's the core of what we're exploring today. This groundbreaking research from German scientists reveals the surprising truth about EMS, that initial damage, and our body's, frankly, amazing ability to adapt.
It really highlights how resilient and adaptable we are. So let's get into the source.
Okay, our main source today is a mini review. It's titled Whole Body, Electromyostimulation, Muscle Damage, and Immune System, a mini review.
And the authors.
Mark Teschler and Frank C. Morin. They're from the University of Wittenherdecke and Klinik Königsfeld in Germany. Solid credentials there.
Published back in November 2019 in a top journal, Frontiers in Physiology. Peer-reviewed, highly respected.
And it's worth noting, German universities have a stellar reputation for sports medicine and rehab research. So this comes from a place known for excellence in this field.
And it's a review, right? So
Yeah.
it's looking at multiple studies.
Precisely. It's not just one experiment. They analyzed findings from various previous studies. Groups ranged from pro athletes all the way to elderly individuals.
So a broad look. That gives the conclusions more weight, doesn't it?
Definitely. It helps identify patterns across different populations.
Okay, before we hit those big numbers, maybe a quick refresher. What exactly is EMS, for anyone maybe not familiar?
Sure. Basically, EMS uses small electrical impulses to stimulate your muscles. It's non-invasive. It essentially amplifies your voluntary muscle contractions, making them stronger.
And it's been around for a while in therapy.
Oh, yeah. Physical therapists use it a lot for rehabilitation, helping with recovery from sports injuries, that kind of thing. Also for boosting athletic performance.
But this research focuses specifically on whole body EMS, WBEMS. What's the difference there?
Right. So WBEMS applies the same principle, but across large muscle groups all at the same time.
How large are we talking?
Up to 2,800 square centimeters. Think chest, abs, your back, arms, glutes, thighs simultaneously.
Wow, that's a lot of muscle engagement at once.
It is. And a key feature is that you can control the intensity for each muscle group separately. So it's very customizable.
Okay, customization is key. Now let's get to those bombshell findings you mentioned, the muscle damage markers, specifically creatine kinase or CK.
Yes, CK, it's a really important enzyme. When muscle cells get damaged or stressed, they leak CK into your bloodstream.
So higher CK means more muscle stress or damage. What's a normal level?
Normally at rest, your CK levels are pretty low, somewhere between, say, 50 and 200 units per liter UL. Quite stable.
Okay, 50 to 200. And after that first WBEMS session?
This is where it gets wild. The review shows CK levels can skyrocket. We're talking increases from maybe 1,000 UL all the way up to, in some cases, an astonishing 240,000 UL.
240,000.
Yeah.
That's huge, up to 50 times normal, like you said.
Exactly. It's a massive jump. And these peak levels usually show up about 72 to 96 hours after the session, not immediately.
3 to 4 days later.
Oh.
Okay. How does that compare to like a really hard conventional workout?
Well, that's another key point. Even with really intense voluntary training, CK levels rarely go above 10,000 UL. So EMS is clearly inducing a different scale of initial response.
And is there a point where those high CK levels become a concern?
Yes. The research points to levels above 50,000 UL as being in a potential danger zone. It could indicate severe muscle damage, or in very rare extreme situations, something called rhabdomyolysis.
Rhabdo, that's serious, where muscle proteins end up in the urine.
Exactly. It needs medical attention.
Yeah.
But it's important to stress that's at the very extreme end and typically linked to misuse or specific individual factors.
Okay, so it's a powerful initial effect. Why? Why does EMS cause such a, well, dramatic spike compared to just lifting weights, especially at first?
Researchers pinpoint two main reasons. First, EMS often involves more eccentric muscle work.
Eccentric, that's when the muscle is lengthening under load, like lowering a weight slowly.
Precisely.
Mm.
And it's well known in exercise science that eccentric contractions cause more microscopic muscle damage than concentric ones, where the muscle shortens. EMS can really emphasize that eccentric phase.
Okay, so the type of contraction matters. What's the second reason?
The second factor is often just initial intensity. New users, or sometimes even the protocols used, might start at an intensity level that the person's muscles just aren't prepared for yet.
Going too hard too soon.
Kind of, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a significant physiological stress on muscles that aren't accustomed to that specific type of stimulus.
Right. That makes sense. A novel, intense stimulus leads to a big initial reaction.
Exactly. The body's saying, whoa, what was that?
Okay, that sounds potentially intimidating, that initial response, but this is where the silver lining comes in, right? The adaptation.
This is the really cool part, yes. The body is incredibly smart. It learns super fast.
How fast are we talking?
The review highlights studies showing that after just 2 EMS sessions, just 2, there's a significant drop in those muscle damage markers, like CK.
Only 2 sessions. That's remarkable.
It is. And there was a longer 10-week training study mentioned. Even after a really tough, exhaustive final session at the end of those 10 weeks, the participants only showed moderate CK increases.
So the body builds up a protective effect. It adapts stably over time.
Absolutely. It demonstrates a robust adaptation. Your muscles essentially learn to handle the stimulus much more effectively.
So how long does recovery take then, especially after those first couple of sessions versus later on?
Initially, with that higher damage, recovery might take a bit longer. Mild damage, maybe 2 to 5 days for full force recovery.
Yeah.
More pronounced damage could take 7 days or even a bit more.
Okay.
But crucially, because adaptation happens so quickly, recovery times generally shorten quite a bit as you continue with regular sessions.
That adaptive capacity is amazing. And it ties into another major point from the research efficiency. This sounds like it could be incredibly time-saving.
Oh, absolutely. This is where WBEMS really stands out for, modern busy lives.
How efficient are we talking?
Typical WBEMS protocols involve just 1.5 sessions per week.
1.5, so maybe like 3 sessions every 2 weeks.
Exactly. And each session is only 20 minutes long. That's the total time.
20 minutes for a full body workout.
Pretty much. And the actual time under electrical stimulation, the work time, is even less, usually only 10 to 12 minutes within that 20-minute session.
How does that break down?
Typically, you do maybe 8 to 10 different exercises, targeting those major muscle groups. Just 8 to 10 reps per exercise, maybe 1 or 2 sets.
Wow, that's incredibly condensed.
It is. The study mentions specific parameters often used, like a frequency 85 hertz and a pulse width of 350 microseconds that dictates how the muscle is stimulated. And there's a work-to-rest ratio.
Ah, so you're not under tension the whole time.
No. It's usually something like 4 to 6 seconds of muscle contraction, followed by about 4 seconds of rest. That cycle repeats throughout the exercises.
Concentrated effort, then brief recovery. Very efficient. Now, you mentioned the immune system earlier. How does that play into this whole picture of damage and repair?
Right. So muscle damage, even the microscopic kind, naturally triggers an inflammatory response. That sounds bad, but it's actually essential. It's your body's repair mechanism kicking in.
The cleanup crew arriving.
Exactly. After an EMS session, specific immune cells mobilize. For instance, neutrophils, which are like the first responders cleaning up debris, can actually double within hours.
Double. Wow.
And other cells, like natural killer cells, important for managing the initial damage, can increase tenfold.
A tenfold increase. That's a significant immune reaction.
It shows the body is taking the stimulus seriously and mounting a strong repair response. This inflammatory activity usually peaks between 4 and 24 hours after the session.
Is it all just inflammation or does it change?
It shifts. There's an initial pro-inflammatory phase, the cleanup and signaling phase, but after about 24 hours, it generally shifts towards an anti-inflammatory phase, focused more on calming things down and rebuilding.
And the actual rebuilding, the tissue remodeling, how long does that take?
Depending on the initial damage level, complete tissue remodeling usually happens within 2 to 7 days.
Okay, so the immune system is deeply involved. And there was another fascinating point linked to this, wasn't there? Something about the quality of the repair.
Yes. This was really intriguing. The review referenced other research suggesting that muscles stimulated electrically might actually show significantly more key components for repair and growth compared to muscles trained just voluntarily.
More components, like what?
Things like myofiber proteins, the actual building blocks of muscle fibers, and also satellite cells. Satellite cells are basically muscle stem cells, crucial for repairing and building new muscle tissue.
So EMS might not just trigger repair, but potentially an enhanced or more potent repair process.
That's what the evidence suggests, potentially. It indicates enhanced repair potential, which is quite exciting.
That is exciting. Okay, considering this efficiency, the adaptation, the potential for enhanced repair, who really stands to benefit most from EMS?
Well, several groups come to mind, largely due to that efficiency and the low mechanical stress involved.
Low mechanical stress, meaning it's easier on the joints.
Exactly. So first, obviously, time-poor individuals. A full-body workout in 20 minutes is a huge draw.
Can't argue with that.
Second, rehabilitation patients. Controlled muscle activation over that large 2,800 centimeters area, but with minimal impact on joints. That's invaluable for recovery.
Makes sense. What about older adults?
Definitely. It's shown to be effective for the elderly experiencing sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss.
Yeah.
They can build strength effectively with that low-frequency 1.5 sessions a week.
That's very accessible.
And related to the low joint stress. Individuals with joint problems like arthritis, they can achieve high levels of muscle activation without aggravating their joints.
Right. High muscle work, low joint impact.
And finally, people experiencing deconditioning, maybe after illness or just a long break from exercise. EMS can lead to relatively rapid strength gains, even with that low training volume.
It sounds incredibly versatile. So, given these powerful effects, especially the initial ones, safety must be paramount. What did the research say about safe application?
Very important point. The research helps define safety zones based on those CK levels we talked about.
Okay, what are the zones?
Generally, CK levels staying below 10,000 UL are considered the safe adaptation zone, normal response.
Below 10,000. Got it.
Between 10,000 and 50,000 UL is viewed as a kind of warning zone. It signals a more pronounced stress response, maybe suggesting the intensity was a bit high, requires more recovery.
Okay, caution needed there. And above 50,000.
Above 50,000 UL is considered the danger zone. That indicates potentially severe muscle damage, the kind that warrants checking in with a healthcare professional.
Right. So what's the key practical advice for users, especially beginners, to stay safe and get the benefits?
The number one piece of advice is crucial. Start at sub-maximal intensity. Don't go all out on day one.
Ease into it.
Absolutely. And increase the intensity gradually over sessions, letting your body adapt. Also, allowing sufficient rest between those initial sessions is key.
How much rest?
The recommendation is generally 72 to 96 hours between the very first few sessions, aligning with that peak CK response time. Give your body time to recover fully.
Okay, longer rest at the start.
You should expect maybe 2 to 7 days for full recovery after the first session or two, but remember, that adaptation kicks in quickly, so it gets easier.
And anything specific to watch out for?
Yes, monitor your soreness. Significant muscle soreness is normal initially, but if you have extreme soreness that lasts longer than 7 days, that's a sign you might have overdone it and should probably consult a professional.
That's really clear advice. Start slow, increase gradually, rest properly, and listen to your body.
Pretty much sums it up.
And, this efficiency aspect you highlighted, the 20 minutes, 1.5 sessions a week, hitting up to 8 muscle groups, it's not just theoretical. It really shows why advanced EMS devices are becoming so popular. Yeah. It's the kind of efficiency and precision that makes products like, say, the original Oriam's Ultimate Kit so valuable. I mean, it's been awarded Year's Best 2 years running. That speaks volumes about bringing this science effectively into people's homes and routines.
It does show how technology can harness these principles. When you understand the science, you see the potential. This deep dive really shows that while EMS needs respect, especially initially, the body's rapid adaptation makes it a potentially powerful tool.
A tool for what, specifically?
For highly effective and efficient muscle development, strength gains, even overall wellness and recovery support. When it's used correctly, with that understanding of starting intensity and recovery, it's a potent way to engage muscles.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
I think the main message is that EMS, when you understand the science behind it, both the initial shock and the rapid adaptation, holds immense positive potential.
It offers efficient, effective ways to build strength, support recovery, fitting into lives where time is often scarce.
Exactly. And it prompts a broader thought, doesn't it?
Mm.
Consider how this understanding of your body's incredible ability to adapt so quickly could, well, maybe revolutionize your whole approach to fitness.
Making sophisticated training accessible, time efficient, yeah, it's food for thought.
And if you're someone listening who's thinking, okay, this sounds interesting, I want to integrate this science-backed approach, whether it's because you're short on time, maybe dealing with rehabilitation, or just want a super efficient workout.
Then exploring options makes sense.
Right. Companies like Orium's Fit offer muscle stimulators that are specifically enhanced with this kind of EMS technology. They're designed to fit pretty seamlessly into an active lifestyle.
So if you haven't looked into Orium's Fit products before, maybe this research sparks some curiosity.
Could do. And if you already use an Orium's Fit product, perhaps this is a great reminder of the powerful science that actually backs up your consistent use. It's not just gadgetry, there's real physiology at play.
Definitely. And for deeper insights, we encourage you to check out the Orium's Fit Research Digest blog. They dive into how their tech aligns with the science. And of course, check out their website for the product range.
We'd also love to hear your thoughts on this deep dive. What did you find most surprising? Any questions? Leave us a comment or a review wherever you're listening.
Yeah, and following us really helps build our community of science enthusiasts.
Absolutely.
Now, just the important reminder, this deep dive is for informational and recreational purposes only. It is not medical advice.
Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new treatment, exercise program, or fitness regimen, especially something like EMS.
Get personalized advice. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.